Adventures of Sonic Episode 55, The Mobius 5000. A race commentator talks on the TV as Eggman watches, and he mentions a $10,000 Mobium prize, with Scratch and Grounder wanting to win the race and racing around to practice, which makes Robotnik lose his spaghetti and get crashed into. Robotnik calls it a paltry prize and says this race is a good opportunity to get rid of Sonic. He tells his robots to deliver something to the Porcupine Orphanage, impressing me because he plans to use professionals and not these guys against Sonic. He also lampshades that he's better off without Scratch and Grounder. That's why their mere presence is forced. Tails plays pool with some weird looking people and makes a bet, and he perfectly predicts what's going to happen. Tails gets a chili dog, but then Sonic says he knocked the balls in fair and square. Fuck you! I thought Tails really was a prodigy at something.
You sure this is the first time you played this game?
Yep.
He only was an inventor in one episode. Did we have to do Sonic do everything? Couldn't he be a prodigy at this? Sonic is told that he can win money from the race, and he wants to use Professor K-Einstein to get the fastest car in the world. Can't we have Tails build a car? He built a hover bike. The show takes way too long to get to that point. Sonic looks at his blueprints and he builds the car with a super speed, explaining why it's built in less than a few months, but again, he's not an engineer. Though I do like the fact that, unlike the other Sonic continuities, this show actually mentions the fact that inventions are going to take a long time to make, logically. Every other continuity seems to, like, right away, right as we need it for the plot, the invention's already made. Like, Rotor must have super speed of his own to make them that fast. Sonic gets ready to race, and Robotnik's race bots start cheating in various ways. They should have all been disqualified immediately. This isn't a world ruled by Robotnik, and it's not established that the referee was bribed or notices and is too scared to report the cheating. The whole competition's plot falls apart as a result. Some blue goop inconveniences Sonic's car, stopping him in the race. This logically would have guaranteed their loss because they're so far behind the other racers. And it's not like it's a racing game where there's rubber banding AI letting Sonic win anyways. K-9 somehow mistakes Scratch and Grounder for car prop-ups when they should be world famous. And Grounder calls for a truck and gets picked up by a crane. Tails says that they have to win or Robotnik will close the orphanage. He'll do that anyways, won't he? A racebot puts thumbtacks on the road, and a magnet brings them back at him because K-9 thought to make that magnet ahead of time. Sonic's car goes up to the rocks to escape, and the racebot shorts out the power, with Robotnik stepping on a rat trap in the dark. Some ice is ahead of Sonic's car, and the racebot breaks the ice to make it split open. Sonic sees ice bury his car, but after some pointless padding dragging out their inevitable escape, my god, this episode is tedious padding. Scratch and Grounder are jealous that Robotnik will reward the racebots and potentially scrap them. So they decide to save Sonic. Why would robots be cold? Like, feel cold? Where'd they get those winter clothes? Scratch says he could kiss him for that, but him showing affection to his little brother for once is ruined by the unnecessary slapstick where somehow his beak is stuck to his head and his nose catches on fire. It makes sense for a tongue to get stuck to ice, but not a beak. And isn't the tongue metallic anyways? The heroes shiver, but eventually the robots break the ice for them to save them somehow. Sonic blatantly cheats by leaving the car running out of it and spin dashing to make a shortcut to finish line sign out of the ice, which tricks the racebot, which drives off the cliff. Wouldn't it be amazing if the ending of the story was that everyone got disqualified for cheating? But I'm sure that just like when Flynn adapted the Sonic racing game story, that won't happen and the whole competition story will be insultingly, patronizingly illogical. Scratch sees a gas station through binoculars and plans to hijack the station, flying over to it in their own personal eggmobiles. Sonic stops at the station, and I'm expected to believe that Sonic totally buys the Scratch and Grounder art themselves, but gas station attendants who can be trusted with his car. Even though they clearly look like themselves, but in different suits. Where's the rat suit? They steal the car engine. Scratch sets a bomb timer for 60 seconds, and Grounder grabs the crane and gets lifted into the trunk. Scratch then gives Sonic 30 chili dogs because apparently he has access to those and made them really fast. Why didn't he poison him? Idiot! Scratch gets blown up by his own bomb. How did his brain survive that? How did the rest of him survive that? This episode sucks! Where's the logic in it? Also, the race bots have really annoying voices. One of them pops a tire and sends Sonic's car into toxic chemicals that were apparently put in a car competition not run by Robotnik. Sonic spin dashes to make a tornado and magically makes the whole car spin dash out of the toxic liquid. How stupid do you think I am? If the writer can't think of a way to logically get him out of that situation, he shouldn't have put him in it. They're apparently chemical plants though, but it looks nothing like it and has barely anything in common with it, so the name is just a cheap reference. Sonic gets caught in traffic, and then he drives into the special zone with a checkpoint. How'd he know where it was and to go into it? Sonic therefore cheats to get ahead of the race car, dodging a laser. He hypocritically accuses the race car of playing dirty, and goes on a ride on it, sending the race bot up over a slope to crash fatally as he jumps out of it. Can this nonsense end already? Sonic returns saying that he ran into a cute little possum and had breakfast with her. First of all, it's not early enough that he wouldn't have had breakfast yet. In the time he'd take to eat a late breakfast, he wouldn't have gotten back to the car in time. For some reason, a brick wall falls over on Robotnik, somehow not crushing him to death as everyone cheers when they have no way of knowing a human wasn't killed horribly in front of them. And unrealistically, Sonic is awarded the award when he cheated just as much as everyone else did. Fuck this episode. And the Sonic Says section has Scratch crash a car, and Sonic lecture you about car safety. This episode sucked. The instant any car in the race cheated, it should have been disqualified, including Sonic. Why would a legitimate race competition even let Robotnik enter? There's never any indication that he threatened or bribed the people in charge to let him enter and get away with cheating. And that threat would logically extend to disqualifying Sonic, wouldn't it? The whole episode made no sense as a result because the cheater should have gotten punished right away, and in a show with Sonic Says in it, you think they'd want to teach us that lesson in not just a Sonic Says section that happened before this episode, but in this particular episode. Instead, it's nonsense where Sonic is able to spin dash his car out of toxic liquid that shouldn't be in a legitimate race competition. If Robotnik was the one in charge of the competition, it would have actually made sense because then I wouldn't be wondering why nobody's disqualifying the race bots and why they're even allowed in the first place. I do like that Scratch and Grounder freed Sonic from ice to prevent race bots from getting the victory they wanted over him. That was refreshing at least.
You order a frozen pizza?
It's Scratch and Grounder! Sonic, those guys are up to something. Never mind.
But if Robotnik's so evil, why doesn't he close down the orphanage anyways regardless of what Sonic wins? What's stopping him? Nothing. Sonic doesn't destroy an orphanage destroying machine. I don't care if it's Sonic, that doesn't necessarily guarantee that it shouldn't make any sense.